3, 4.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters, on this episode number 218 on the Good Morning Guys podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I am one of your hosts, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, the jury, and the executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novacell.
Good morning.
And a good morning to you. To his left and my right, the volleyball and beast of the east, who can make you laugh in 3 words or less, or your money back, Ronnie Johantis.
Hi.
Hi. And then our final member of the GMG quadfecta, present tonight, the guy with music in his heart, Doctor Who on his brain, once again, and La Coretta in his old stomago, Marc Boucher.
Yo.
Yo.
It's been a while since the four of us have been together.
It's been a while.
It's crazy.
I
I
know.
don't even know who you guys are anymore.
Looks like
was
Lucas
like-
got a visit from the hair fairy.
Yeah, I did get visited by the hair fairy. Just came up. You know, when I get free time, the hair fairy usually shows up at that
Messes
point.
everything up.
Yep, just ruffles my feathers, ruffles my hair around, makes it look pretty. Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Beautiful.
the past few weeks we've gotten hit by the "we can't all be together at the same time" fairy.
Just a fairy for everything.
You know that's going to be the title of the show, right?
Niche type of fairy.
It's a very niche fairy, but it happens. It happens at public schools.
Oh, man.
It happens at
Work.
church on Sundays. Work. Yep. There's always a fairy going around making sure people don't make it. Joiner, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, looks like the fairy brought you here, and we're really glad
It's like exactly what you
that
were
they did.
listening for.
Exactly. You know what you were getting into. This morning, we, of course, are sharing what's new with us. And then later on, we got a Gotham Knights spoiler cast and review headed your way, courtesy of Pat and Marc. The Batman fairy is going to come and visit, or his ghost. I'm just going to run this joke into the ground.
Batman
So
fairy.
many fairies. What is with
So many
this?
fairies.
I don't want to know what a Batman fairy looks like. I mean, is it like an evil, like looking demon?
No, it's not a man. It's not man bat fairy. It's
I don't know,
Batman
'cause
fairy.
that's what I'm
So-
thinking of, is a man bat.
No, this is Batman, and he put on the fairy wings that you get for Halloween. And,
Oh, okay. Kind of like what The
picture
Rock
like
did in that Disney movie.
Picture like
exactly.
a tiny Batman action figure with fairy wings.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Right.
Yep, exactly. All right, guys. Well, it is great to be all back together with you and catch up on life, see what's been going down.
Good thing
Let's
the
see.
back together fairy.
Wipe the
Visited
face off.
us.
While I wipe my face off here, figure out my life.
So as he wipes the sweat away.
Well, you know what? You guys went ahead an hour, and it's totally jacked with my brain. 'Cause
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
it's
that's
almost
right,
11:30. Yeah, so there's a 2-hour spread between us now. Thankfully, we don't spring forward anymore, so at least it's not 3 hours ahead. That
I'm
would
pretty
really-
sure we spring forward
miserable.
next year, and that's it.
Is
we
that
don't
really?
change-
Is
I
that
don't
Like
I,
forever.
I
I
feel
don't
like I
think
hear
we-
this every year. Americans
Yeah,
are
no, they
like,
haven't
"Oh,
decided
I'm
that
done
yet.
with daylight
There's never,
savings."
there's never a daylight savings time.
I'm
got
pretty sure.
stalled.
Is it next year? Well, I'm looking it up.
It got
Look
stalled
it
in
up.
the house.
No,
Of course, it did.
Yeah, it was either the house. One of the
Who
houses.
makes this decision?
I want to say it's the house, the Senate, or the
Old people
House of
that don't
Representatives.
have anything to do with daylight savings, they
Old
don't
people
have
like vote on it
farms.
at the post office.
They're not affected by it. They sleep in till 10 o'clock every day, or they go to Denny's and get their breakfast.
Don't they wake up
Their
like
late morning
5:30?
breakfast. They probably
breakfast
do.
by 5:45.
You're right.
Gross.
Dinner's
Oh,
at
man.
4.
The U.S. Senate
7:30
approves bill
bedtime.
to make daylight savings time permanent starting in 2023, and this was
We're still doing it.
But that's the Senate. It needs to be. It needs to
Yeah.
be set up in the House.
The daylight
All right,
savings
okay.
fairy
All
didn't
right,
make
all
it to the House.
I don't know.
Stopped
I
by
don't know all
Senate.
the rules there. So
Is that going to be on the ballot?
I
vote on it?
yes.
On whether the daylight savings fairy comes back or not.
I want to know the statistics of what percentage of people still get affected negatively. Like they show up late or they show up early because of
I
daylight
get affected
savings.
negatively every day now because it's dark at like 5:30.
Is that how it works now?
Horrible.
A bill to permanently spring forward has been installed in Congress for more than 7 months as lawmakers trade jabs over whether the
They
Senate
trade jabs.
whether the Senate should have passed the
Senate
legislation
just got more
at all.
exciting.
Gotta
I
love
need-
hyperbolic language.
Better been
House officials say they've been deluged by voters with split opinions
Deluged?
and warnings from sleep specialists.
the deluge fairy came by and had something to say. I want to turn on
Oh.
C-SPAN and see this
Just
this
like,
fisticuffs that's
Yeah.
going
This
on.
sounds
like
like, a serious
Parliament.
battle, yeah.
Yeah.
have you ever watched British Parliament? It's always ridiculous. Like anytime somebody makes any sort of comment, you always hear everybody go, ah, yeah, in the background.
They all wear
Like-
like powdered wigs.
No,
Of course.
Well, actually,
We should have
some
a
of them
powdered
do
wig
wear
back.
powdered wigs, but not Parliament necessarily. But it sounds like somebody having an argument in the midst of like happy hour in a bar.
Mhm.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
A powdered wig night with the we should all get George Washington wigs.
This article
Yep.
goes on to say that they're probably going to regret their decision 2 days after they spring forward when they're all groggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna come in like we change our vote.
Change it back.
We made a bad decision.
No takebacks.
If only that's how it worked. All right, let's get this garbage train on fire back on the
Ooh,
tracks,
we've upgraded
shall
to
we?
a train.
Oh, yeah.
Train.
It's a garbage train, my
We're
friends.
big time now.
We are barreling ahead. We are getting it done. Patrick,
Yes.
I want you to start, as is tradition.
As is tradition.
What's up?
had a normal week. But one thing of note this past week.
Let's hear it.
On Saturday, there was a WWE Premium Live event. It was the Crown Jewel event, and it was in Saudi Arabia. And because it's in Saudi Arabia, the event wasn't usually at like 8 p.m. our time. It was at 12 p.m. And I was like, oh, no, that's in the middle of the day on Saturday. There's no way I'm going to have to be able to watch this live. I'm probably going to have to watch it at night after the kids go to bed, kind of thing. And so on Thursday this past week, Mel reminds me, she's like, hey, just to let you know, just to remind you so you don't forget, Clark and I are going camping for Cub Scouts this weekend. I was like, oh, okay. You know, when is that? She's like, it's Saturday night. And I was like, okay. What time are you guys leaving? She's like, around 12. And I was like, all right, okay, I can get on board on this. And so it was just gonna be me and Claire. And so on Friday, she's like, hey, I'm going to this birthday party, and can Alyssa, can she come over and spend the night? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. She's like, yeah, and then her dad's gonna come pick us up. And is it okay if I go to Kenwood Mall tomorrow? And I was like, I mean, like, I guess, you know what, is her dad gonna be driving you? She's like, yeah. I was like, what time are you gonna think about leaving? She's like, probably around noon.
Hey.
And I was like, let's go. The
stars are aligning.
so I was like, all right, able to sit down and watch the WWE event. And so Mel and Clark, they were gone all day. And then I was supposed to pick up Claire around dinner time. And she's like, hey, can I stay for dinner? I'm like, yeah, that's totally fine if they're okay with that. And then I was like, just let me know when to pick you up. So I was supposed to pick her up around 10:30. And she texted me around 9. She's like, hey, can I spend the night? And I was like, yes. So I had the entire Saturday to watch WWE, which also goes into my gaming update, where I played a ton of Gotham Knights. Like you alluded to, we're going to be doing a spoiler cast, but small review for Gotham Knights. I absolutely loved this game.
Yeah, buddy.
So I played through the story, and after I got done with the story, I was doing all the side missions and all that, and I only had like 4 or 5 trophies left, and so one of them you had to do New Game Plus, and the other ones were like all collectibles, and I was like, all right, well, The collectibles are not like Spider-Man where they're fun. They're like, hey, collect 40 batarangs. Oh, go here 40 times and do this 60 times. I'm like, ugh, gross. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do those. And so I go back in to the game, and the game was like, oh, I had to update. So I had to restart and do an update. Because for the past like week, I was just resuming play, turn on my PlayStation, getting back into the game. I didn't have to like reboot the game up because that's the only game I played this past week. And so when it rebooted it and did the update, I accidentally hit new game, not continue or new game plus, because I don't know what I was thinking, and I was just clicking apparently, and I thought I was on continue, and I hit new game, and it was like, it said, do you want to, what difficulty do you want to choose? Very easy, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do this. So I hit circle to try to go back. It wouldn't let me go back. So I shut down the game, went back into it, and it reloaded into the difficulty screen. And I'm like, oh no.
What?
Oh no. So I looked online, and there's no way to do it. So,
No!
and my
Wait, was there like, didn't you have a cloud save or something you could
I went
upload?
to the cloud. I went to the cloud save, and when it did the update,
No.
I guess when I shut it down, it was like the latest cloud save was that when I went there. When I went to go look at the cloud save, it automatically just uploaded. And I was like, no! So I couldn't go back, unfortunately. So I was like, oh, that means I got to play. Because one of the trophies is you have to get to max level, which is level 40. And you can only get level 30 through one playthrough. And you only get to the extra 10 levels is in New Game Plus. So not only did I have to beat the game and get one more time, I had to go into New Game Plus to continue to do that. I had to do all the fast travel locations. I had to do all the side missions so I can get all the levels level up. So that's what I did on Saturday. And I'll tell you what, I had a great time.
Tell you what, man.
I had a great time doing it. I lost my max level character as Batgirl, so I restarted as Red Hood and went through all of it again. I just skipped all the cutscenes because the cutscenes are they're lengthy.
Yep.
Pretty hefty.
Yeah, and they're really well done. And so, but yeah, I was bummed, but I was like, you know what? I'm not really that bummed because this game is absolutely fantastic.
There you go.
Yeah, good times. Good times. Yeah. Yeah, but outside of that, I have nothing else happened, which was great. Bengals won.
Yeah, they did.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that here in Ronnie's update, but the Bengals won.
They punched them Panthers
Mm-hmm.
in the face. Like a politician. They were like, daylight savings up your nose.
Yeah, it didn't affect them at all because they put up some numbers. Joe Mixon put up some record-breaking numbers.
Let me ask you this question. This is the only question that anybody needs to know about the Bengals. Patrick?
Yeah.
Are the Bengals good?
They're Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
I have no idea. You've seen week to week, they are
could
Jekyll and Hyde.
They could be good. They could be awful. Well, not sure.
They played against the Panthers, which was one of the worst teams in the league, and they whooped them. They beat who they should beat.
By the Browns, though.
Yeah.
I
don't understand.
Tale of 2 weeks.
But
Yeah.
it's a confidence booster for them. They are now 5-4, and I don't know if you know this. They went on their Super Bowl run when they were 5-4 last year. So
There you go.
if history
A lot of people
repeats
forget
itself,
that they were only like 10-7 last year.
yeah, if history repeats itself,
Yep.
Looking
If
at
the
a good-
season
good
ended
run.
today.
I don't even know if they're in the
That still
playoffs.
wouldn't help us. I don't
Nope,
think
it wouldn't.
That'd
Too
be a
bad.
disaster.
That is the worst saying ever.
If the season
Yep,
ended today.
it is. I look
It
for every
never does.
opportunity to say
If
it.
the season ended today, I'm sure it's because it's a reason and nobody's playing.
Because an apocalypse is the only thing that's stopping the NFL.
Well, the apocalypse is going. Might as well do the playoffs now.
Yeah, let's do them real
So-
quick.
I guess I'll just go right into my update here.
I think you should.
Yeah, sure, Ronnie.
Ronnie Johantis,
So-
one word.
The thing that I found out these past couple of weeks with football is that none of it makes any sense. Nothing. Nothing in the NFL makes any sense. Who's good?
Who knows?
Yeah, and maybe the Eagles. They're undefeated, but like, do you trust that they're like as good as 8-0? Like, I don't know. Have they played anybody?
Derrick Henry's good, no matter what you do.
Derrick Henry's a mutant. Like, he might not even be human. So
I don't get so. I don't know, Mark or Lucas, if you've ever seen Derrick Henry. I don't get to watch him very often. He's the running back for the Tennessee Titans, and they're not usually on. And so they were on this past Sunday after the Bengals ended, and I saw this guy. This guy is a mammoth.
he doesn't look like a
One
regular.
of the biggest guys you'll see in the NFL, and he's a running back.
Definitely the
Like-
biggest guy that touches the ball.
Biggest guy I've ever seen touch the ball.
Yeah, that's
So like he
100%.
puts the ball in his pocket like
He could.
like it's
Yeah,
keys.
he's
I
like,
got
Let
the ball
me
for
stick this in my
lunch.
he put
pocket
it like
and
in his
run for a
front
little
shirt
bit.
pocket and just run with it.
Yeah.
Nobody can even like. Oh man.
He regularly
He's
has
taller. He's like
150.
broader. Like it looks like a different game. Like when he's carrying the ball, actually, like he's that much bigger.
You know, like he's usually a foot and a half taller than Andre the Giant. He's huge.
Except he's really fast. Also, it doesn't look like he's running faster, but he is.
His strides are like 6 yards long.
Yeah, he runs away from all the guys that are supposed to be really fast. Yeah, but the NFL doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense. The Bills just got beat by the Jets this weekend. So
Man, who would have thought the Jets
nothing makes
would
any
do
sense.
what they're doing right now?
And the Bengals dominated the Jets earlier this year. Just to add another wrinkle of nothing makes any sense into everything. Like, I'm pretty sure the Bills would destroy the Bengals, but the Bengals beat the Jets, who the Bills couldn't. Just nothing makes any sense. Outside of that, on Sunday, it was really nice that the Bengals dominated because it was also, we were celebrating my grandma's 91st birthday.
Whoa,
Nice.
91.
Big
Congrats,
9-1.
Grandma.
They
Grandma
went out to-
Johantis?
Grandma
Or Grandma?
Johannes.
Okay, yeah.
This is
I mean, Grandma
Johannes,
Joe Johnson?
yeah.
Johansson?
She is Johansson.
Johansson, that's what it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
She is like the sweetest old woman that has ever existed on this planet. She's fantastic. And 91, like, she just is doing great, honestly. So
Nice.
she's the grandma that at 91, like, she still is in our fantasy football league. Like, she actually won last year. So she has the big wrestling championship belt,
Nice.
which is awesome.
Does she wear it everywhere? Because if not, she should.
No, she doesn't. I don't even think she could. Like, it's actually like pretty heavy.
That's
Like, I
fair.
don't think she can
Fair.
handle it. She's a little tiny woman. Also, one time we should talk about how people are just getting absolutely larger, like, because all those older people from like her age in the 90s, like, they seem like the smallest people. Like, we
Yeah.
were just a race of smaller people, like one person ago, you know. But no, we celebrated her 91st birthday. It was really awesome. She went out with all of her kids and their spouses, and then we went back to their place afterwards, all of us cousins, and I would say kids, but you know, we're somewhere in the middle of the adults and the kids. Like, we're still not like the old people, you know, adults, but we're still
Well,
we're not young kids anymore.
And when you're all together, you digress, you regress.
Yeah, we're in this
to-
middle 30 range where we're not quite anything anymore, just drifting.
Yeah.
But they did actually put 91 candles on the cake. It was kind of a small cake with
Holy
91
crap.
candles.
Oh, nice. Fire
It was-
hazard.
It was one of those scenarios where there was one giant flame just above all the candles.
Nice.
Because they were so close. But no fires. She didn't get them out on the first try. There was a couple of helpers in there.
That's good.
91 candles will almost melt a cake, by the way, because that's what
Yeah.
almost
Yeah, I
happened.
believe it.
It was a little melty after that.
I'm surprised that entire top layer wasn't wax.
I don't know, but it was quite an inferno.
Mm.
I was like, man, hopefully somebody didn't use like too much hairspray today or something. Just go in there. Whoa. But yeah, Bengals won. That was kind of a nice little victory birthday present for her.
They did
Yeah.
it for your grandma.
The birthday fairy came in and made it happen.
Nice.
Thank you, birthday fairy.
Outside of that, really nothing for me. The games I've been doing pretty much the same thing. I did actually kind of dip back into Arc. It always happens when I'm bored with games. Like, I always go back. But I'm kind of showing my buddy Kevin. We started a new game, and I think he really likes it. So we'll see where that goes. See where that goes. I did. I did play. I played through the first section of Archvale, Pat.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did really like it. I actually played it on easy, which I normally don't do that. Just play it on the easiest one. I'll probably try to play through on normal a little bit because it the easy was I got
Little
through
too
really
easy.
fast.
Super easy.
I got
Yeah.
through really fast. Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep playing that. That seems like that would be a really good couch co-op though. Like you were right about that.
Oh, yes.
It seems like pretty awesome, but that's still early in that. I've only done one run through, so I'll keep that up and keep you guys posted.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
Sweet deal.
Mark, what about your week?
Dude, my week was light. Very light.
You got that internet
It's-
fairy that joined though.
Yes, I will say that I finally got the internet issues fixed.
The good stuff again.
I decided that it was time for this quote unquote good stuff that actually wasn't good stuff to go.
Experiment's over.
Yeah, and so I immediately called up and quit that and went back to Xfinity. So now I've got internet up here, so all my stuff's all hardwired now. Granted, I'm missing the upload speeds for some reason here in this area of Virginia. You can only get an upload speed of like 10 megabytes per second, which is kind of annoying. But
that's not a lot.
that
for
is not a
people that
lot
don't know that.
at all. That's not a lot at all. But my download speeds are back and I'm hardwired. So that's the big thing.
Nice.
And so got that taken care of this past week. Things are kind of sort of starting to ramp up for talking about Christmas stuff at church. We're going to start learning new music. I actually took a stab at writing a Christmas song that
Please tell me it's the sequel to Christmas Shoes.
I was gonna say.
So I wanna buy these. Sir, I
No,
wanna
now
buy
it's
these.
Sir, I want to
pants."
sell these shoes. They cost too much for me.
Second verse of the song is the kid actually goes out and sells them in the streets for a profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Mama dies, she's not gonna need him anymore.
Oh no, it got dark real fast.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I thought it, so fair.
But no, like Christian worship Christmas song for us to learn.
You're gonna play it for us though.
Maybe at one point.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, our worship team has been or is gonna be learning that, which I'm pretty excited about. A lot of chaos leadership wise that I'm not going to go into specifics over the podcast, but it's been a roller coaster of a week at our church. Things seem to be going on the up and up direction, going back to normal, I guess. But for a while it was a little touch and go there with a situation going on with our church. But other than that, it was pretty much a light week on the real life, on the Earl side of things. Gaming wise, it was pretty much just like Pat's week. I was very much into
Your
Gotham
family went
Knights.
camping
No,
and you watched WWE?
that's why I said gaming wise.
Oh, gaming wise, sorry.
No, it's very much like Pat's week because I had talked to Pat about, because he had beaten it and I had beaten Gotham Knights. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go for the platinum. I was like, you know what? Why not? And so I put in an attempt and I did New Game Plus and started doing all this side stuff. And then I started really looking closer at the trophies. And it's like, you've got to defeat 45 of this type of enemy and 30 of this type of enemy and you've got to something about 250 something or
Oh
something.
yeah, I just got those naturally. Like I didn't
Yeah, it wasn't popping for me.
Interesting.
Mark's avoiding fights. He's
I can
kind of
only
like, nah, I'll come back later. See you guys.
it's fun. No, I love the game, but like I can only do but so many missions, like those same type of missions over and over and over again, and get tired of it.
Sure.
Um, so and I, for a good like day and a half, I was just really trying to grind the trophies and everything. And I looked at my progress and I was at 53%. I'm like, this is not going to happen before God of War comes out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to stick a fork in it and say I was done.
Mhm.
But having said that, I absolutely loved Gotham Knights, and you'll hear more about it, of course, on our spoiler cast. But
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did get the platinum this weekend as well.
yes, he did get that.
Yes.
Congratulations to you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
But yeah, I am counting myself out of that. I've played quite a bit of the game, but I don't think I'll be going for the platinum. And that has been pretty much other than I jumped into Apex, into the new season of Apex, and messed around with the new character Catalyst, and jumped into the new map, which I'd actually started last week, but completely forgot to mention on the show. But yeah, jumped into the new season after not playing Apex proper for quite some time. And it was nice to be back into that world and see all the new stuff, see the new map, see the new legend and all her abilities and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was a fun time. But that was pretty much my week. Pretty light week. Now coming up this week, it's going to be much different.
LIT light.
Yes.
We'll buckle in.
Yep.
We'll be ready for next week.
After Wednesday, it's on.
Yeah, we got God of War. We got Sonic Frontiers.
Yep, got that
This
on the way
week?
from GameFly.
So, you guys, is there a discount like for GameFly? Like, you guys still use that even though you have like Game Pass or the PS, whatever.
Yeah, GameFly is more of like a substitute
not on
for what's not on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's like
Because
just
I like
a
to play a
discounted
lot of
service, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
about
it's like for me, it was like if you buy a year subscription, it's like $20 a month. But I play so many games, it's so worth it for me. I'll play a game for a week and then send it back and get another one, send it back, and I can play,
And you can keep
40
them for as
different
long as
games.
So you get like
a year.
new releases, like
Yeah,
almost like immediately.
Yeah, that's how I played Gotham Knights. I just got it. I don't get it the day of. I get it a couple days later. But no big deal.
A lot of times, if you do I guess it's like a game lock. I guess that's what they call it. I guess a lot of times they'll ship it early to where you get it day and date. I guess not all the time, but
you know what? I'm not sure. The next game that I have a game lock on is Callisto Protocol, which comes out December 2nd. So I don't know. I guess I will keep you posted in a month if I get that day and day.
Yeah, because I didn't game lock Sonic Frontiers, but that shipped today.
Yeah, same.
And doesn't come out till tomorrow.
I imagine I'm going to put in a couple hours into that, and I'll be fine with it.
Yeah.
It's going to wait. Be like, oh, God of War is in the wings.
Yeah, it's probably, if it's not here tomorrow, then it's going to wait until after God of War. But I'm still interested in playing Sonic Frontiers because I mean, it's gotten decent scores. So, and it looks fun enough to me. I've seen several playthroughs of it just to see what it feels like, and it seems pretty fun to me. So,
yeah.
So I'll definitely be giving that the old try. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So Lucas, that leaves you last but not least. How was your week, sir?
How are my weeks?
Weeks, I should say, yes, because you were not here last week.
I got a twofer to share.
Raised from the dead.
Buckle up.
Thrown into the
Click,
Lazarus
click.
pit and pulled
Dang it.
out.
Oh
got
my
all
gosh.
I got all nice and dressed up, and you didn't show up.
Yeah,
makes me sad.
they threw
Not
me in
even
the.
dressed up.
I didn't get
Marc
thrown in a
did
Lazarus
dress up.
pit. I got thrown in a puppy poop and pee pit. The puppy
Wow,
poop and
say
pee
that's
fairy came.
Hey, that's intense.
It was
pee
like,
and poop
hello,
Poop and pee pit.
puppy
That's a
poop and
bad
pee
fairy.
pit.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's a rough place to be. I'm so glad you're back.
Trust me, dude. I was so glad.
Out of all the
when,
fairy jobs, that's the worst one.
Oh my gosh, that was
It's
the
like the
worst
fairy
fairy
garbage
job
man.
ever. Oh, the fairy never stopped. It was like, what am I feeding you that you're doing all this? Yeah, we as I wrote in last week, between cleanups and puppy training and everything else, we watched a puppy for a week, and it was a roller coaster. It definitely had some highs. Like, I was really proud of Rayla. I was a little nervous at the beginning. I had our trainer Douglas come, and he helped us pro bono. Like, I was ready to give him a little trainer's fee or whatever to help the dogs get used to each other. I think it didn't help that like a week before I watched this video on how to. I'm trying to think what I had typed in, something with training big dogs with little dogs, and the guy that I usually watch, he had this video where he was talking about the do's and don'ts, mostly the don'ts, and there was a graphic warning, and I was like, it can't be that bad. And it was this video in another country somewhere where this guy's German Shepherd got loose, and it ran out and it picked up this poodle, and it shook this poodle like just a shirt, and just like shook it back and forth. It was a little scarring for me. I was like, oh my gosh, Rayla is going to kill this puppy. So
Yeah, dude,
fast
why would they
forward.
put that in the video.
Yeah.
You could have been like, "This happened."
Yeah, just tell
Set
me
it
about
out.
it.
Like,
And then
so
it was like Marcus said, like in the past with certain things, like it's like a car crash, you can't look away. And it was one of those moments where I watched in horror as this dog did this. And I was
dude,
like,
that sounds awful.
no, don't do that. And so the time came to introduce the puppy, and I'm like, Rayla's going to go nuts. I'd never seen her with a puppy before. So,
You just
and
have
she
flashbacks to that video.
exactly. She can get a little hyper. She can get a little crazy. I think like just a day or two before, she hit the zoomies for the first time with me,
Yeah.
where I mean, seeing a 60, 70 pound dog do the zoomies, it's like a freight train. Like, she's still spinning around. She's like, run in a circle,
like a
jumping
horse
up.
doing it.
Oh, it's like, yeah, it's crazy. And so I was a little nervous, but she did great. There were some moments where she definitely
How
just.
big was the other dog?
It was a 2.5-month-old puppy, less than 10 pounds, like
Oh,
a little
okay.
dog. Like, and it's still a German Shepherd, but it's a 2.5-month-old German Shepherd. Like,
So like the same exact size as all of your German Shepherd's toys.
pretty much, yes. And there was a point. There wasn't a point. There were a few points where Rayla would get a little irritated with Molly. That was the name of the puppy. Or that is the name of the puppy. I don't want to make it sound like she ate her. or anything.
My
was
dog
the
killed her.
name.
Spoilers for the rest of my update.
Well, no, ironically, what I'm leading to is she would get a little irritated with Molly, and she would stick Molly's head in her mouth. Like, just mouth her head. And Molly would come out looking like, I don't know, I can't think of the movie, but like movies where someone gets eaten by a dragon or something and like falls out and is like covered in saliva.
Like Men in Black. Like Men in Black.
Yeah,
when
like
he got
Men in
eaten by the
Black,
bug.
exactly. Like, I look at Molly and her whole top of her head is just pure saliva.
He's all slimed up.
Well, it was funny, the progression of the dogs play, them getting to know each other. Of course, they sniff each other's butts and their tails wag. They want to get to know each other. And at the beginning, Molly was really submissive and would lay down. Molly would be licking Rayla, and Rayla's like backing off like she's biting her. Like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, Rayla, she's licking you. Calm down. Well, eventually, Molly stopped being submissive and started getting feisty. And she would grab Rayla's tail, and sometimes Rayla would spin around to where the dog was literally like flying in the air, holding on to the tail. and Rayla's like, I don't know what to do with this. But she still would play with her and still was funny. It got real when the dog started biting her ankles and like the tender part of her haunches.
Mhm.
Like, Molly would just get in there with her puppy teeth. And that's when Rayla would stick Molly's head in her mouth and be like, that's enough out of you. You little snot.
My
It was pretty
my
pretty
my mom and
entertaining.
stepdad have like two dogs with a pretty big like size difference. Like one of them is a tiny husky, and the other one's a big black
Right.
bear. But he knows like like I don't have any doubt that he could just like murder her at any second, like of any time.
Yeah.
But like he knows that he could do that, and she gets away with like so much, like nipping at him, like biting at his like neck and stuff. Like she'll
Yeah.
bite his ears, and he just stays calm. Really, like he
That's
barely,
good.
yeah, he rarely gets crazy about it.
Yeah, I had to play referee most
Couple
of the
times.
time. It was only the last couple days I trusted him, and even then, the puppy was like very much like a lot more vocal than Rayla ever has been, and so
Rambunctious.
very rambunctious. And she would get super frustrated. Rayla would like to play keep away, where she would just kind of wag the bone in front of Molly, and then Molly would go for it, and then Rayla would just back up and then run away. And Molly would go after her. And then eventually Molly would just yell at her, be like, hey, stop doing that. Get back here. Like just really get frustrated and start biting her ankles. And then Raylo would get mad at her. And eventually I'd have to separate them, let them cool down a little bit, calm down. But by the last day, they were good. But what wasn't good by the last day is like, I think a day or 2 days before, for whatever reason, Molly got sick. And for like 2-3 hours straight, she
Probably
vomited
all that
every.
saliva germs all over her face.
Probably Rayla infected her with her saliva. The saliva fairy came and infected her. But yeah, so she vomited a bunch. That made one day just totally shot. Like because I was just cleaning up vomit. I mean, she's throwing up everywhere. It was gross. But other than that day, it was really fun. But when she left, I felt the freedom. I enjoyed the freedom, not having to worry about what the puppy was doing, where the
You have to
puppy
worry about your
was.
dog murdering another one.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have to worry about my dog like just stamping her face in the ground with her big, huge paw that was as big as her head. So yeah, so that was the excitement from last week. The other thing that's been going on that has been ongoing that I've updated you guys before is the MCU watch through with the kids. We finished phase 2 and started phase 3. We just got done, not just now, but yesterday we watched. Saturday we watched Civil War. My goodness,
That's the
that
best
movie.
one.
That movie
That's a great one.
is so flippin' good. Like,
Bruce.
oh man, I loved the reveals. I forgot how many superheroes are revealed in that between Spider-Man and Black Panther. You know, Ant-Man not being revealed, but you know the crossover stuff. That was like Civil War was like the first real multi-crossover of bringing all together without any warning, just like gathering everybody at the Germany airport.
Oh man, that
scene.
airport scene's
Dang,
the best.
that scene is so good. It is so good. And yeah, I mean, pretty much every single movie we've watched, I like even better now. Like even the ones that we rag on, like Thor: Dark World, I enjoyed it. Age of Ultron, loved it. Like there's so much in Age of Ultron. The first meetings between not Scarlet Witch, but Wanda and the other dude, Vision. Like there's already allusions in that movie of their relationship, and just man, it's so good. Like I can't. It's actually surprised me a little bit. Like I knew it was going to be fun, but watching it again for the second, some of them are third time, most of them are just the second time. So getting to see it with knowing everything that's going to happen in the future makes it even better. And then my kids' excitement, they're wanting to talk about it. My son, I'm pretty sure every movie at some point, my son like looks at me and says like, oh, like just like this look of just, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, and it's just so exciting to live it through them, live it all over again. So
Cool.
that's a blast.
It is awesome.
Speaking of Marvel, segueing into from Earl to gaming, Patrick. Marvel Snap as Patrick leaves.
Yeah.
That's right. Tasha convinced me to jump into Marvel Snap as Patrick leaves and avoids the conversation. Patrick, I'm just going to keep talking about it.
He's got a book
Actually,
bag packed. He's
I'm
leaving
going
the
to talk
country.
about he's leaving. He's out of here. He was already prepared.
He's got a book bag.
All right, I'm going to take a break from that. I'm going to talk about it. Wait till he comes back and sits down. So we're going to put a pin in Marvel Snap. I'll give you some context for
He
that in a
still
little
got his
bit.
earphones in because he can hear
But
everything we're doing.
the biggest thing that's a surprise is that this is probably the first time in a long time I got into mobile gaming. And it was between Marvel Snap and it was between another game called Soul Knight. And Ronnie, you'll actually be interested in this because it is a knockoff of Enter the Gungeon. Like straight up knockoff of Enter the Gungeon.
I can get behind
It's
that.
free. It's on mobile. And it's fun. You know why? Because within 5 minutes, I got like a 40-foot ninja sword. And I just swing it around the level and just destroy fools. It's built more in stages. It's still random. Like it has the maps. It has the bosses where you get to the boss and then it like, oh, Thunderbird. And like it has like a crazy thing, but it's pretty fun. You know, it took me a while to figure out how to get my backbone to work with it because I plugged it in at first and it wouldn't work. So I thought I had to use a touchscreen. And let me tell you, man, using touchscreen controls for games on your phone is not fun. My fat thumbs like block half the screen. It's not cool. But once I figured out how to use the backbone with it, it was good. But the reason I played it is because Dead Cells has like a bunch of games that have crossed over and that are crossing over. They started throwing out some stuff on social media where like Shovel Knight, Terraria, Hotline Miami, like a bunch of different games that are indie darlings, good games are crossing over with Dead Cells. So I just started checking them all out and I've downloaded most of them except for one. So I'll be checking those out over the next few weeks in between play sessions of God of War. So very exciting on that front. And so anyways, as I was saying with Marvel Snap, this game, let me tell you, I only got into it because my daughter said, hey, Dad, what game should I play? And I'm like, I've heard something about Marvel Snap, but I'm not really that interested. And she's like, well, if you download it, I'll download it.
What is it?
So it's a Marvel-based
Ronnie,
card game.
come on.
It's
And
pretty
here
much
we go.
It's pretty much just a card game with Marvel characters, but you upgrade your cards. And if you were like me and grew up playing with having these kind of trading cards with Marvel and comic books and all that jazz, it has a little bit of a nostalgia feel to it. But that's pretty much all it is. It's just it's a card game, battle game, and it's pretty simple, straightforward. I'm not going to go into all the details. I'm going to spare Patrick anymore.
So
Honestly,
you know
you had-
what's funny?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
I
What's-
also downloaded Marvel Snap.
Good night, everybody.
Well, I can tell you.
Yeah, good night,
there's no
everybody.
chance that There's no chance I'm gonna download this one because like you lost me at cards.
No, I know.
Any of those like card
I get
games,
it.
like I can't do them.
Yeah, have you ever heard of Hearthstone? No, probably not.
It's like the Witcher card game. Yeah, it's like it's a
Hearthstone
card
is
game.
Yeah, you remember Gwent from The Witcher? Witcher
That's
3?
not what it's called. Was it Hearthstone? What was that called?
It was Gwent.
Gwent.
Yeah, Gwent is from Witcher. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta,
Hearthstone is was it World of Warcraft or League of Legends, something like that?
yeah, that's not
I don't
Ronnie's
know.
cup of tea.
Yeah, I
Gwent?
didn't know if he had heard of it. But
You remember Gwent, Ronnie?
I do remember it. I didn't actually play The Witcher. I watched Elizabeth play The Witcher. So
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did.
that's
I do remember her playing that because I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of times you have to like play.
You do. In the game, yeah, for
I
progress.
played Gwent once to get that achievement and moved on.
Yeah, that game was lame. I played
She
Gwent
liked
also.
it. Actually, she liked
Yeah,
playing it.
there's
I
a number of
understand it.
people. There's a number of people that stopped playing that I know that stopped playing the main game and just play Gwent, like the game within the game. I'm like, that's crazy, but to each their own. To each their own. So
Anyways.
anywho, that was like, I don't know. That was a fever dream. I don't think I'm ever going to talk about much to Patrick's happiness. It's not none of it's important enough that I'm going to talk about it again. This is probably the only week I'm going to play these games. I do not do mobile games. So, but moving on to better and brighter things. My highlight from this past week was not a new game, but it came out of left field. I was not prepared for what I played this last week. And that is Tekken 7.
What?
Just
That was not
out of
even
nowhere.
close.
I know. You never would have guessed
I
it.
would have never guessed that.
There's two
You're
things.
not even a fighting game fan. How did you
I
fall into
know.
this?
So, I am currently not a fighting game fan. However, back in the PS1 game days, I was a fighting fan. I played Tekken. I played Mortal Kombat. I played Street Fighter. Me and the neighborhood
yes.
kids, we played it a
Heyday.
bunch.
Mhm.
The heyday. And then I fell off. Games got more sophisticated. Button mashing was no longer acceptable or productive. Other than Dragon Ball Fighters, which
Fair.
I still
Mhm.
love. It will always hold a special place in my heart. But there's two things that played into this. One is when I had PS Plus Premium, I did download Tekken 2 just to get a little nostalgia love. And I played it. It had no trophies. It was fun, but I wasn't interested in continuing with it. But then PlayStation Stars, that silly little trophy thing that encourages you to buy stuff or play a game to get a little silly digital trophy.
Very silly.
Very silly. Super silly. I almost have a full case, by the way, to almost have 12 trophies. I'm very
I bet you
excited
do.
about it.
Congrats.
I'm almost to get to number 12. Take a
How
big
do you
old fat
share that? Because
stream-
I want to see
screenshot.
your case.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to share it. I'll share it with you somehow. But I saw Tekken 7 on one of the lists, and I was like, man, you know what? I miss Tekken. I love that game. And back in the day, I played 1, 2, and 3. And so I looked it up, and it was like $10. It was on sale, like 80% off. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy it. So I got it. Booted it up, started playing the campaign. And this game is like Fast and Furious meets Dragon Ball Z. It is nuts. It is all about family, except it's about punching your family in the face as hard as you can over and over again until they die, and then they come back to life again because
Fantastic.
anime.
Yep.
It's fantastic. The first half of the story campaign, I was like, this is crazy. Like, it's just all this stuff happening. One thing that just I thought was hilarious was there are multiple nationalities involved. Like, there's a character that is like a Sonya Blade, Patrick, who's an American, speaks in English. She's kind of like spy / soldier. And she's working along a guy who's like the godfather of this organization. He speaks in Japanese. They speak in their own languages to each other. They do not cross languages. And so they understand each other in their other
It's kind of
languages.
like talking to R2D2.
Yeah, pretty much.
understand
Except
it,
there are subtitles, so you can, follow along the Japanese. Well, at one point they go and they find a French guy. He speaks in French the whole time. So you have 3 languages at one point where they're all speaking in their own languages. It's all translated for subtitles. And at this point I'm like, this is wacko. Well, at one point a Street Fighter character enters the fray. And I'm like, hold up, I don't remember a Street Fighter character being in this. And then the drama and the Dragon Ball Z, almost like I don't want to say soap opera because that gives it a negative connotation. But there is some like backstory that they introduce that is just that hits on Tekken 1, Tekken 2. It just gets interesting, and it keeps escalating to the point where by the end, I am sitting in my living room playing this game. And I'm standing up, like playing, stuff's happening. And I'm just like, oh, what? Like I am getting into it.
Like a Japanese RPG.
I felt like I turned into an anime character. I just was like, I was like verbally talking to myself, like, what? I can't believe this. Like, it just, stuff was happening, and I can't explain it. I don't want to really give away spoilers because if anybody's willing to, find a copy of it or whatever, it's worth playing through the campaign. If you like fighting game stories, if you like stories, it's really good, and it leads into Tekken 8, which is going to be coming out supposedly next year. So I'm all in. I thoroughly enjoyed the campaign. I've played some other parts of it, like treasure battles and online battles, just for kicks and giggles. It's a winner in my book. For a fighting game, I give it, for me, I give it an 8 out of 10, which is like 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Sparked punches to the face. it was that good. It was good for a newbie like me who's not into doing button combos. It has like an assist mode where you hold down L1 and then you have 4 moves you can do, and it's like you can just cycle between those, or you can also do the combos.
Nice.
It was fun. I recommend it. So
Tekken 7.
good old Tekken 7. I'm ready for Tekken 8 whenever that baby comes out. So yeah, that was my week.
Wow.
That's all I
Nice
got.
little
Out of left
surprise.
field.
Out of left field for faux show. All right. Well, how about you, Joiner? What is up in your neck of the woods? If you would like to join us for a little bit of housekeeping and also hear from your fellow joiners on the old Discord, Twitter, you can find all those places on the that website thing, linktree.com/the GMG pod, which that's later. I did it early just because I don't know what I'm saying right now. But
I was like, is it
That
closing
time
the
change,
show
man.
right now?
it's
or-
after midnight, so it is what it is. But yeah, you yourself can join us and you can share what's new in your life, just like the jerk Joiner did. He changes his name every week.
But it's always apropos to
Pospicel. It's true.
yeah.
Yeah, he's always being responsive to the things we say about him or what I say.
We appreciate
So,
that, Trav.
I truly appreciate it, even though I forget half the time what I say, and then when I see his name, I'm like, oh no, what did I say about him last week? Dang it! So there you go. We're hearing from the jerk Joiner, Travis Popsicle. He said, "Do you all feel weird about getting a recognition award? Recognition award? So let's answer the question first. How do you feel about recognition awards, Patrick?
I guess it depends.
That depends on what they're for.
Yeah, have I really deserved it, or am I has it been
Sure.
a goal for like years
You-
for me?
you
to
deserve
do
it.
or something like that.
Are we getting an award? That's what I
Yeah,
want to know.
like is this like
Yes. You're getting an
Somebody
award.
say
How do you
Is there
feel about
money attached to this award of any kind?
it? Jesus dollars.
I don't know. I think
We
Plenty
are
of
rolling in
Jesus
Jesus
dollars
dollars,
it does.
so.
I like getting recognition from someone maybe that I maybe look up to, kind of thing, and more of like a personalized. I don't like to care for getting recognition in front of other people.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah,
care for
I
that.
like personal recognition. I don't
Yeah.
I don't like come up front and get this medallion that you're gonna throw into a corner and never wear ever around your neck. We're gonna put it around your neck and you're gonna look like an idiot, but it's because you did a good job, so you deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, does it to me like does it feel nice? Sure. Is it something I'm looking for all the time? No, not really, but like Patrick and Eric plenty of times at work, they've given kudos like, hey man, you're doing a real good job, and I appreciate that. And
Yeah, for sure.
I also appreciate the WWE championship belt that I got. So that's a nice thing to get. It it's not something like I'm not looking for accolades constantly. I do want to know I'm doing my job or not doing my job, doing things well, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to have the spotlight and have accolades all the time or whatever.
It's fair. Well,
Fair
Travis, here's what he had to say. Fair enough. He said, I got a Driver of the Month award. I don't feel that I need to get recognized for just doing what is asked of me. It's a little awkward. On a separate note, I don't like leaves.
This is not your time of year then.
Yep. So you got to choose, Travis. You're either going to get a recognition award or you're going to get leaves or you're going to get both. So sorry.
What if the award is leaves?
Yeah. What if Mother Nature's like, you know what? I'm going to recognize that you're a jerk. So here's some leaves.
I'll tell you what I like about electric cars. While we're on the subject,
You
I
know,
don't
there is
want to
actually
talk about
like
electric cars right now.
huge piles of leaves like around the apartment complex that like
Yeah.
haven't really been like raked up or anything, and like you literally can't see like any like parking spots in certain areas. It's like, man, like, when are we gonna get rid of these though? I mean, I can understand its frustration with the leaves.
Yeah.
I could get behind that.
I don't live that life anymore. If the leaves fall, if the leaves fall out of the tree's gonna fall because it's dead.
falling season.
You know, it's
Tree falling season is
yeah,
dangerous
Brazil.
out there.
look out there, just walking down the street. It's like,
In Brazil, the leaves don't fall off. The trees just
Timber!
fall over and grow
Yep.
again every year.
yep, pretty much. That's it.
Are there trees in Brazil?
There's way more trees than grass, so there's 2 trees.
Fresh oxygen out there.
Actually, we only have trees in the Amazon. We don't have trees anywhere else. So I'm too far south, and we're just
That's
So
a
just
bummer.
bushes.
it's bushes. Yeah, it's bushes.
There really isn't
Bushes
any
everywhere.
trees.
Yes, there's trees.
Just a barren wasteland.
Stop being crazy. We're talking crazy. You're taking crazy pills.
There's
Travis
trees,
said.
there's grass.
Travis said, my yard has too many leaves, and not trees, and the wind didn't blow enough of them into the neighbor's yard, so that means fire. I mean, I need to
Yeah.
rake them, then fire. LOL. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks, you jerk. We appreciate you.
Look what you did,
sharing
you
that with
little
us.
jerk. No.
Yeah.
The old
You know
leaf
what's-
burning.
You know what's funny is every time, not every time, but yeah, every time I either visit my father-in-law or he visits us here in Brazil, he definitely mentions his neighbor's leaves going into his yard and how mad
Sore
that makes him.
subject.
Point
Yeah,
of contention.
yeah. In fact, it's to the point now where I'm just like, so, how's the neighbor's leaves going? How's that?
That sets them off.
Just to
Or
poke the
something.
bear, you know, just to
Yeah.
have a little fun, you know, just see what happens. And I just see the fire in his eyes.
You elbow Minnie. Hey, watch this.
Hey, watch that. I just look out the window. I'm like, yeah, I think I see a leaf in your yard. Is that yours? Did you put that there or did your neighbor? Oh, man. Timmy Pollen said, congratulations to Travis. He also hates leaves. He, especially his neighbor's leaves. So,
Oh, there we go.
also, Tim had this to say. He finished up a 24-hour stack up stream Saturday morning. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Good work. Yeah, yeah. He said, with your help, we raised $610 for the vets. Thanks again to everyone for the donations. And I almost said popping in. I need to put my glasses on. While I haven't,
that'd be a terrible stream. Everyone's
know.
just pooping in on the stream.
Everybody's pooping in on a stream. Well, actually, you know, for those that were, they might have been pooping in. You know, just
I mean, if you're watching Twitch on your phone, you very well could be.
yeah, it's
a whole-
50% chance.
That's a whole different type of stack up.
That is, oh my.
Hey-o.
He said he has not finished Gotham Knights yet, but he's loving it at 9 out of 10 batarangs.
Nice.
Ooh.
All right. Besides that, I think we have a Twitter joiner or 5 that had something to say. Let me just check that old transponster.
Stall for
Yep.
time.
All right, here we go. Scary Terry. No. Yes.
It's Aaron.
Scary Terry's Dust, Ron. He said, I leveled up at my job. No, my boss literally called it leveling up. And I got a 10% raise.
Yeah,
Ooh,
buddy.
there you go. Nice.
There you go. And then he gave a little
Congratulations.
gif of Donald Duck walking and counting money. So please tell me, Aaron, that you wear pants to work because Donald Duck here is counting money and not wearing pants.
Having a
That's
bottomless money
That's
party.
dangerous. I mean, it depends on what your job is. It might work out, but
Do not dive into a pool of gold coins, whatever you do. Not
It's
a
a
good idea.
solid.
tip of the day. Or the gold fairy will definitely knock you out.
Yes.
Space Hawk. That's
Space Hawk.
my space caca. He said he's absolutely loving, which this might be encroaching on your Gotham, but
Little bit.
you mix the life and the Gotham together, so I'm reading it.
Yep.
He absolutely loved Gotham Knights. He thinks it's a very fun game, and the coop is amazing.
Oh, the coop.
The old coop. He thinks it's amazing. He loves how he and his friend can be across the map from each other doing separate things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fun.
multiplayer is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can just be in the same world. You don't
Yeah.
have to drag each other into different missions and stuff.
Yeah, I had one person just random, like it's just not even anybody I knew, just randomly dropped into my game. I was in the middle of a story mission one time. I was like, "The heck are you doing here?"
Get out of here. Nobody invited you. There you go. Well, those are our updates from our joiners. Thanks thanks for letting us join in on your lives and see what's
Thanks
going
for
on.
pooping in.
Yeah, thanks for pooping in. Indeed. I can't decide. The pooping in fairy just showed up and said,
Good night, everybody.
Oh, man.
Mr. Fairy, the Christmas boo.
That's a rough job.
Yep, that is a rough one. All right. Anyways, if you don't want to poop in, you'd rather connect with us visually, spectatorly, on YouTube, Twitch, and the like. We are doing some streaming, whether it's roguelikes, randomness. God of War is going to be going strong on the streams with Chris the Rock. So check us out early in the morning, weekends, all that jazz. Finally, on Patreon and our merch page, you can support and gear up with us. So click that one link to rule them all, either in the show notes or you can type it out real quick, linktree.com/thegmgpod. Of course, if you can't toss your attention or coin to your podcasters, but you're still the giving type, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Spotify. Helps us reach new joiners through stars, exclamation marks, and your feedback. So let your voice be heard, literally, if you prefer, at a phone number that might not be working right now.
It's still working. It's still working.
In the processing.
Yes.
What is the new number?
It's the same.
What? That's
Yep,
lame.
It is.
I thought we were going to get a new one. All right, fine.
I tried.
929.
I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. 929 GMG guys. We thought we lost it for a second, but then Pat resuscitated it, gave it mouth to mouth, 15 compressions, and then just slapped it around a little bit, and it was like, hello, here I am. It was back. Oh, man. What a movie. What a scene. Can't take it anymore. Boiling, bathing. Okay. Anyways. Alrighty then. Pat, Mark, Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game with the Gaming Fairy.